Delta is, I think, done quite well leading into these results as well. So those are a set of results which will be in focus. Keep an eye out on KPIT in particular. All right, 200 points on the Sensex, 60 odd points on the Nifty is what you've got. Idea is at about 149 or so. That's about a 2% knock, reacting to results. Kane is down 0.5%, 153.5, 154. You got Infosys, which is absolutely flat, 1138.5 or so. Bank of Baroda is down about up 0.75%. Reliance is up 1.6%. Lupin is up 1.3 odd percent, 2091. PNB is up 1.3%, 137.6. L&T 1.2 higher. Asian Paints is up about 1.25, 70 points on the Nifty. That's about 8,322 or so at this point. Sensex is up 243 odd points as well. Let's look at the result reactions very quickly before we look at go back to the Nifty. Let's start with Idea and see what's happening. The Idea is down about 2.5%, under 148 now. Idea. All right, Wipro, next one. Wipro is down about 1.5% as well. So that is that. Kane India reported numbers. I don't think results matter that much. Stock is absolutely flat. No real reaction coming in on Wipro. On Kane, sorry. KPIT, let's look at the results. Okay, 17% move on KPIT. That's a 20 rupee move, 144 odd on KPIT. The low, by the way, not that far back, was about 80 bucks. It got to 120 and now 140 straight. All right. What are the other results? Blue Dart, let's look at that. Blue Dart is up about 2.6%, which reported. Let's look at Cadila. Cadila had a good set of earnings. Cadila is up about 3%. That's a 12 rupee move, 13 rupee move. Then you had numbers from Tata Coffee, which were a miss. Tata Coffee is down about 0.5%, so nothing there really coming. Delta Corp, the stock's already done quite a bit. It's up 2.7%. And I think you've got Akzo Nobel, which also reported earnings. Akzo is down about 0.5% lower. And I think I missed JSW earlier. JSW Steel, okay, that's up 0.5% or so, 4 odd rupees higher. Against what was expected for the second quarter, numbers are better. But profits are down, 70-80% year on year. 909, 10 or so is what JSW is trading at this point in time. So that's basically the results list out for you. Shrey Infrastructure, of course, that deal has happened now. It's up 1.25% or so. I mean, there's been so much talk about this deal, potential deal happening for the last few months. I guess a lot of that was in the price already. Sensex is up 245 points. The Nifty is up about 70 odd points or so. So that's what you've got at the start, right to the word go. TCS, Lupin, just to go back to the large caps, L&T, all higher. I mean, I don't think there's anything which is weak except, result reactions like Idea, which are out there. But otherwise, it's a broad move. It's a broad risk-on move, and it's all, of course, mostly global. Tech Mahindra, Lever, BPCL, Cipla are some of the other names which are coming in at this point in time. Okay, so that's the market open. We'll put up the big caps and small caps, and you'll basically look at the most actively traded stocks and sectors up on the air. All right, Ambareesh Baliga is with me here in our studios. K. Subramaniam is with us as well. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have both of you.
Good morning.
Ambareesh, so is this rally going to last? I was reading what Lawrence Balanco from CLSA's his note says this morning. He says, but the only reason I'm quoting that is because his note is global, but it's got a specific mention about India. It says India is going to underperform this next move up. And it's all global. It's all being led by what's happening in terms of central bank action and what they're saying. But according to him, India will be a laggard. It won't lead or be in line with other markets. Where do you stand?
No, again, I think one needs to specify the time frame. And if you're talking of the next 1.5 years plus.
I think this is one. We're talking about the next, I think, 3 months or so.
If you're talking of next 3 months, there is a big question mark because of the Bihar election results, which is on November 8th. and in case it goes in favor of the BJP NDA alliance, then possibly you can see the markets up another 150, 200 points from wherever it is on November 7th. But in case it goes against them, you can safely see the markets possibly 250, 300 points down, because I think that would be a knee-jerk reaction. But then if you're talking of slightly longer term, I think that could actually work out in favor of the market in the longer term, basically because it will get the government back to working on development, and that's exactly what what the markets want to see. But then after a sort of a knee-jerk reaction, you could see the markets stabilizing at lower levels and then possibly making that next big move. Because end of the day, there is enough liquidity in the international markets, and that is going to flow to the emerging markets, and India would be one of the performers.
So this is what exact Subramaniam, come in here, you're a chartist. This is what Lawrence Belanco. The only reason I'm citing Lawrence Belanco here, of course, is that this is a global move. I mean, what you're seeing, and nothing has happened or changed here. So if it is a global move, let's look at some of the global stuff. And this is what he says. He says, looking at the MSCI India in dollar terms versus the MSCI Asia Pacific, it's worth noting the market has traced out a short-term double top pattern, which sets India up for a period of underperformance vis-a-vis the region in the coming weeks. So basically he's saying it's likely to go up less than the region. Where do you stand?
Well, broadly, I think even if you take in India per se, I think the current series classic, what we have seen is that the performance of the beaten down counters. I think if we take it in the global context, I think we have had a stellar run in India for the last, I think, 1.5 years. And I think we have, of course, had some correction, of course, this 2015. But broadly, compared to other markets, I think we have had some relative outperformance. So I think that some catching up has probably is expected to happen in some of the other markets. That's probably hinting. But broadly, if we take our markets, I think the way things are panning out, probably the worst case scenario, probably 7,800, 8,000 for the current, at least for the current year. So I think we should be in some sort of a range, and probably with some slightly positive bias rather than any negative bias. But as Ambareesh mentioned, the Bihar elections can throw some sort of...
So no getting adventurous, selling the market or anything here, right? No
at the current juncture,
nothing.
It doesn't look likely. But what is encouraging, as I mentioned, some of the beaten down counters which are showing a lot of strength in the last few.
Which ones?
Like some of the metals, then we have also seen some of the infra pack. I think these are the counters where we have considerably got beaten down, and with the interest rate cuts, I think these are the sectors which are likely to outperform in the next 2-3 months. So I think in that context, there are of course sectors available within our own markets which I think we could expect to outperform.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of specific things, Ambareesh. Idea Cellular, what's your view on the stock?
It's just not the view on the stock, it's the view on the sector. And in fact, I have been negative on this sector now for the last 7-8 months plus. And at that point of time, possibly Bharti was closer to about 430 levels. Idea was at much higher levels, I think closer to 180, 190. I think going ahead, Reliance Jio launch, which I think is quite sure as of December, most probably December 28th, which is the birthday of late Dhirubhai Ambani. And once that happens, you will see that there will be a major cut in margins because of the sort of a price war which will start off. And we have seen that happen in 2003, which changed the complete contour of the telecom industry. I think that would be negative as far as the listed entities are concerned, both Bharti, Idea, and the unlisted one, which is Vodafone. And I think that can continue at least for a year and a half plus, because that's the time I think Jio will take to build up their market share. And along with that, from January 1st, in case we have that call drop penalty, that could be decently huge. Just basic maths, 87 crore active users, 3 rupees a day, it works out to about 200 odd. 365 days, 95,000 crores. So assuming even if it's just 10% of that, which is actual penalty payable, it still works out about 10,000 crores, so which is not good news for the telecom space.
But it has to be implemented.
It has to be implemented. That's why I said, in case it gets implemented from January 1st.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Any specifics on the chart, Subramaniam, at all? Telco, Idea, etc.
Well, Idea has been underperformer. So I think one stock which has actually is a standout in the last few weeks has been Arcom. I mean, this is technically it's now trading above the 200 DMA, which is saying something because it's really been a laggard in the segment. So that is one stock probably on some reaction. We will see some sort of buying coming about. It's already seen a stellar run in this October series. So my sense is that probably it will head towards levels of 88, 90 in the short to medium term.
That is Arcom.
Arcom.
Okay. When is the last time you traded Arcom, Ambareesh? Recently?
In fact, from a trading point of view, I think it's given decent moves. I mean, one had to buy at levels of 54, 55, exit at levels of anywhere between 74 to 78, but now it's like higher than that. But then that was an extremely good sort of a band in which one could play in the last 1 year.
Okay, all right. Wipro, Ambareesh.
Clearly, I think they've, at least the management has missed on the guidance given. So I think because of that, we are seeing this reaction. And overall, if you're talking of like IT pack as such, I think it could be like a underperformer over the next couple of quarters, especially because you'll have the rest of the stocks or sectors which had underperformed in the last year and a half or slightly more. I mean, sectors like the industrials, you'll have the infra, the capital goods, all of them moving decently well. So compared to that, you will have the IT space underperforming.
You know, a fund manager that I was speaking to was saying that maybe the next trigger for Wipro is when the current crop of the management retires, or when new people take on.
I mean, exactly what happened to Infosys.
So I think, yes, that's the thought process, which
Right,
is that somebody new will come, and if that could, otherwise, I mean, what will really happen here at Wipro, one doesn't know. You'll hear from the current management, of course, at 9:30, but the stock is down, and in a way, promises not kept in that sense. Shriram Transport Finance, let's look at that stock. So this was, I mean, strange, and we were talking about this, by the way, at least in the second half of the day, how the RBI could come out and clarify later in the day, on Wednesday itself, because the FI limit was 74% and the RBI restricted further purchases, and I think there was a clarification later which did come out. Stock recovered 4% on Friday itself. It's up another 2.5% odd percent. So it's basically retraced all of it, nearly all of it. So there was a technical kind of a one-time thing. And Ambareesh, any thoughts?
No, I mean, if you're talking of the sector as such, I think...
Not the sector, I mean, it's the entire... this FI restriction in the evening saying, well, it's out of the FI curve. Obviously, it was a mistake, right? It was an error, and then it got corrected.
Yeah, so I mean, like clearly that was a technical issue which was there, which once corrected clearly is showing the stock price.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I mean, talking of the sector, I think this sector is expected to do well. We have already seen the CV cycle turning, and that's what Shriram Transport caters to. So once you see the sector, I mean, this like the CV cycle improving further from here, I think you'll actually see this stock performing, because we have not really seen much of a performance from this, this stock in the last 12 months.
Okay, fair enough. Bajaj Auto, Ambareesh, any thoughts on this one?
Bajaj Auto again, surprised. I mean, when the results came out, and clearly with the margin improvement, I think. I mean, we need to see for the next 1 or 2 quarters whether that sustains, because we have seen, at least in the recent past, that we have not seen consistency from Bajaj Auto. So I don't think we should read too much into these results and just go out and start buying now. I think one should wait for another quarter to see that the consistency is there.
Subramaniam, any specific trades you would like to recommend?
Well, in the context of what's happened, announcements has made today, I think some bounce back could be expected in likes of a Tata Steel. I think we also seen some decent correction, so probably could bounce to levels of maybe 260, 65. Motherson Sumi, that's a real beaten down counter which could be benefit. I think again 260, 65 could be the possible target. And one stock which actually looks interesting is something like a Sun TV. That's seen some pretty good short covering in the last 2-3 days in the background of a sluggish market. So I think that counter should see some up move maybe to levels of 400, 410.
Okay, Sun TV. Hearing this after a while. Z is done very well. I mean, it continues to do very well. And this is lagged behind just because of that cloud of uncertainty, political. So Subramaniam is saying Tata Steel, Motherson Sumi, Sun TV. Ambareesh, last time you were on the show, we discussed You said you'd rather buy HT Media rather than Z. Tata Motors, you're saying, well, with a 1 year plus perspective, you could go to, you could see 500 kind of levels. Any stocks you'd want to talk about specifically?
At this point of time, I think I'll go a bit slow. In fact, I've been a buyer in the market for the last month and a half, especially from those levels of 7550, 7600 onwards. I think I'll utilize this move over the next couple of days, possibly to book out to a certain extent, because most of the stocks which I picked up have given extremely good returns, because it was basically in the metal, power space, infra space, and including Tata Motors, where I booked out to a certain extent already. So I think over the next couple of days, I'll utilize this momentum to book out, because I won't like to take a call on the Bihar election results.
Okay, all right. But that's only in November, right? I mean,
that's in November. So
7th November.
So basically, I have about 10 more sessions.
Okay.
To continue booking out. Yes.
Take a vacation and then come back after.
Absolutely.
The election result. Thanks very much, Ambareesh Subramaniam. Appreciate both of you joining in with that perspective. Thanks.